Hello guys. I hope Lishapo, and yeah. So if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe. This is a channel where I share, the concepts about the price action. And today I got a comment where I was asked to do something different because normally we do VIX 75, we do Nasdaq, we do US 30, sometimes gold. Yes, those are the ones that we normally do. So I was asked to look at step index today. So make sure that you stay with me throughout so that I can show you that the concepts that I've been, preaching about on this channel. And again, if you're interested, you can just text me, and then I have a mentorship that is going to be starting soon. The second group, I think by the end of the first week of the next month, the end, we should be, up and running. So let's get started. Always we start with the highest time frame, so that we can just check how is the structure that side, so that when we're trading on smaller time frames, we try and not go against the bigger guys, right? So this one, if you look at it on monthly, you can see that it's generally in a downtrend. So I don't know if this is where it started, but I doubt. So this is what I have on my thing. On my phone, it's not going anywhere. I'm trying to go back, but it can't. It's showing me and from May 2021. So we had this, we went up, we came down, we broke that, and then we went up and retested that, and then we went down. From there, we never looked back. So if there's anything that we can take from this chart on this time frame, is that it is in a downtrend, and it is now sort of how can I put this, sort of touching the nearest area of resistance on this time frame. So if you've been getting trades to go long on your smaller time frames, now it's no longer a good idea to continue doing so, because you have hit a resistance on a monthly chart, right? So let's just put a horizontal line where that starts, so that when we're moving to weekly, we know exactly where the monthly area of resistance starts. So that's it. That's all that you need from this time frame. So let's go to weekly and see how is the structure that side. So this horizontal line, we know that this is where our monthly resistance starts, and on weekly we do have a trend line, which is something that goes like this. Remember, each time frame can have its own trend, it can have its own trend line. So which is why when you are coming to weekly, you just need to keep that picture of monthly in your head, to say that monthly looked like this, now I'm on weekly. Start afresh. How is the trend? Where can I put the trend line? So that when you're making decisions, you say, because this is what I'm seeing on weekly, and the monthly said this, do they agree with each other for me to take trades maybe from this area of resistance or from this area of support? Then you make your decisions like that. So, but you need to keep in mind, each time frame can have its own trend line, and it can have its own trend. So here, when the price was moving down, that was our trend line, and this was our nearest area of resistance when you're going down. Because of what? Let's use a different color. We went down, we paused there, we went down. So that was the nearest area of what? Of resistance. So which was somewhere around there. The price went up and tested it. It formed this pin bar at that area of resistance, which was something that maybe you have said, because I know we are to the downside, we have hit an opposing structure, maybe let me search for trades to go down. You were more than welcome to do that in this case, but it didn't go so well. But again, if you look at this, we know that when you're talking about a pin bar, I always tell you that if this is a bearish pin bar and this is a bullish pin bar, right? So when we are forming a bearish one, we wanted to see the best convincing us even further by what? By moving and breaking the range of that pin bar. With the bullish one, they must move up and break the range of the pin bar. So if you form a pin bar like a bullish one, but the next one doesn't go above, it comes and breaks in this side, it's not a good sign. It's like this is not, like it doesn't exist, which is what we had here. Because we can see that the price went up and then it touched the thing. It formed a bearish, which is what we want. It forms a bearish pin bar, where at an area of resistance. That's what you want. Why? Because of what? A resistance it's an area or a territory of the sellers. So a pin bar is also a bearish one. It's also a sign that shows that the bears or the sellers are the ones that where the price tried to push up, but they got rejected. They rejected those bulls and pushed down and forced them to have a tail above. So both those two, they're saying there is high force to the downside. But in this case, that force did not continue and break the range to this side, but rather the bulls were not completely out. They pushed up and broke the range. It's like this guy's not there. So you can see from there, they never looked back. They pushed all the way until they hit that monthly area of resistance and also the weekly bearish trend line. So now let's just try and zoom in so that I can show you something here. So now that the price was going up and it did this down and then it did that, meaning it gave us a higher high. When you think of a higher high, the first thing that you must come to your mind is what? A bullish trend line. So this is a bullish trend line because we had a higher high. That being a bullish trend line, this becomes what? The nearest imbalance. The nearest imbalance or the nearest support. So now that your bullish trend line is still holding, the price is coming down towards your what? Towards your imbalance or the support. Are you allowed, if this is your execution time frame, the weekly, are you allowed to take a trade to the upside? The answer is no. Why? Because this is a weekly support. This from here until there, it's a monthly resistance. The price is coming from a monthly resistance pushing down, and you are trying to fight that with the weekly support. Yes, the price can touch there and play around before taking off, but judging from the structure that we saw on monthly, you can see that this thing is generally to the downside on a longer term. On long term, it's to the downside. So when you're trying, something is always pushing to the downside and it's coming from a monthly area of resistance, you shouldn't try and push against that with your weekly area of support. It's not a good idea. We understand that the support went up and it did what? It broke bearish trend line. So because after forming this, we went up and we broke bearish trend line. Yes, we did that, but that's on weekly. We broke a weekly bearish trend line, and then that was the last push into a monthly area of resistance. From there, that's when the price started coming to the downside, which is why we're saying now, because the price is coming to your weekly support coming from a monthly area of resistance, is no longer a good idea now for us to try and fight that. Rather, we wait for that, for this bullish trend line to be broken, then we can maybe get trades so that we can join the sellers, because they are around their territory, which is their monthly area of what? Area of resistance. So that's all that you have here. All that you need to understand is that from here, you are having what? It's this, which is a weekly support from that horizontal line. So when you're moving down to daily and you see that horizontal line, you know it's what? It's your weekly support. That's where it starts. So let's check what's happening on daily. So this was our weekly trend line. This one, it's our weekly trend line. So now that is a daily, and we understand that each time frame can have its own trend line. This is what we're having on daily. We can remove this for now. So that's our daily trend line. Daily bullish trend line, where we're seeing that the reason why we put it there is because we had a swing low here, swing low there, we had a higher high, then we can put that like that. So when we are at the higher high, this was your nearest area of support, but because of where you are, we understand the trend line was holding and everything, but you need to understand your location. You are inside a monthly area of resistance. You can't try and buy inside a monthly area of resistance, because the price is feeling the hit from that monthly area of resistance. It can just push down and demolish all the structures that you're having on smaller time frames, which is what you're seeing here. All you need to do now is to say on daily, we know we're inside a monthly resistance, right? And then the price, it broke bullish trend line. Price broke support. So that means that on this time frame, yes, we are inside the monthly. The price is feeling the hit from that. That hit caused the price to go down and break a support, and it broke an area of it broke a trend line, a bullish trend line as well, which means now all you have to do is to mark this at the top, which is your daily resistance. That daily resistance gave you a move down and is the one that broke the support and bullish trend line. So meaning, because now this is my weekly support, it starts there. Should the price come down and touch that and then go up to the daily resistance, it's no longer a good idea for me to try and sell that, because the price is here coming from a weekly. I'm trying to sell a daily. It's not a good idea. But now if the price was to turn from where it is, we know weekly hasn't gained control, then we can try and sell and hope that we will have a second push to the downside into that weekly support. That's what you'll be looking for. And this, where the thing, where the weekly starts, it becomes your nearest area of what? This is your nearest area of support on this time frame. So there is your support, and remember, you always have a zone below and the zone above, so that you have an idea to say that on this time frame, it looks like the price is coming from this, trying to reach for that. So on this daily, there is your support, there is your resistance. All right, the resistance we understand is the one that pushed down and broke all the structures. There we've got the thing, the support that gave us this and broke that, and this, during its time, it broke this. You see, so they must all connect. So this be my support on daily, and it is inside weekly, because we said this is where the weekly starts. It is inside the weekly. So I would say if you are trading daily as your execution time frame, you can look to sell from here and say you're gonna go to the downside should it go up without touching that horizontal line. But if it goes up and touches the horizontal line, we understand that is our weekly area of what? Area of support. And again, we are still inside the monthly, but if you get on smaller time frames, you can sell, but you can buy, but make sure that you don't expect it to be a long term trade. Make sure if you're trading those smaller time frames and you buy from there, just make sure you use the structure on that time frame to set up your TP. Because if you try and take a buy from there and hope that you'll hold on to that trade until December, it's not gonna go so well for you. Because of what? Look at the structure on monthly. The long-term structure is very much bearish, and you're touching a monthly area of resistance, which is why I'm saying we understand we're touching the monthly one. It does not mean now the price has to move like this. It can still have trends to go up in between on smaller time frames, which is why I'm saying on those smaller time frames, if you are able to catch this, make sure that you don't set your TP. You are realistic with like where you place your TP, because otherwise you will end up losing a trade that you could have won. You see, so on this one, the conclusion would be that this is a very nice area for us to take sell trades, only if the price doesn't do this, because if it does that, we'll be coming from weekly. This is a daily. So for you to enter there, maybe we'll need more confirmation, because we understand you're inside monthly, but yes, we need to, then we can't sell with what? A limit order. In this case, if it goes up there, you're more than welcome to place a sell limit, because we are inside a weekly area of resistance and a monthly area of resistance. Then we are more than welcome to do that. So let's check what is happening on H4. So that's basically how you do your thing, your analysis. You don't have to be talking about the terms that don't even make sense. What is important is for you to understand the stuff that how can the stuff that to say that for me to take trades here, I just need to understand how this candlestick was formed, how this area is significant, and all the stuff. Everything else is not important. So which is why you can end up being someone who's very frustrated, because you are being taught this and that, but when you try and apply it, it does not make sense, you see. Which is why you must make sure that you go for the knowledge that is very simplified, and it makes sense, and it's something that you can do it over, apply it over and over again. It will still be something that comes with the positive results. I'm not saying that if you trade this way, you're not going to lose trades. You're going to lose some of your trades, but for as long as you are respecting your thing, you are very strict with your risk to risk management, and you are taking trades that are scoring higher, you have got higher chances of being on the positive side at the end of the month. You see? So that's what you want. That's what I teach. Make sure that everything is simplified. You don't have to complicate anything. So here, this is our H4. This is our H4 time frame. And on the H4, we did have... You could have placed it there, which is also fine, to say this was my H4 bullish trend line, and the price came to the nearest area of support on H4. Because of where we are coming from, not a good idea for us to do what, to try and buy. And then the next one was also taken out, and even the bullish trend line was also taken out. So this became a very strong area of support or resistance that pushed down and broke areas of support, and it broke the trend line as well. But now currently this becomes our nearest area of resistance on this time frame. All you have to do is to try and rate it and see if it scores higher. Do you have a candlestick away? How is the profit margin? Where is our next opposing structure? So that you can decide if it's worth you trying to sell it, and hope that that will be your push towards your 8680 price, which is where your weekly area of resistance of support starts. This is your daily, but this horizontal line marks where your weekly area of support starts. So when you're going down like this, there is your trend line. There's your trend line. This is your nearest area of support, of resistance, and we're saying it's bearish, and location also allows us to take trades to the downside. So all you have to do right now is to make sure that you mark this guy here. You must mark this guy, and then you assess him, and then let's check this one out. We can remove this so that you don't get confused. Let's just put that horizontal that trend line. There is your bearish trend line, right? And this is your area of resistance, and there is your nearest area of support on H4, this, and it is inside the daily area of support, which is also inside a weekly, because we said weekly starts here. It's probably that big, you see. So now if the price is to go up like that, you know you are bearish, you are hitting a very nice area of resistance, and everything is still pointing down. You still have enough gap for you to try and catch a sell until the price can hit a higher time frame area of support, which is going to go against what you are trying to do. So you're more than welcome to search for selling trades here. Wait for confirmation, wait for price to show you that it is trying to react from that around the trend line and that area of resistance. And when you get there, this is your final TP for selling. This has to be your first, where the price is tending to come and give you the trade, is going to be your first area where you are trying to search for, where you're going to exit. But at the higher time frame level, it's going to be your TP, the final TP. I hope this makes sense. So I'm going to end it there. Because I don't like doing the smaller time frames. I do not like them at all, because there, when you're moving smaller to the smaller time frame, there's a lot of price action, there's a lot of noise. You can put it there and then still say this is my resistance and try catch trades from there, but it still look to be around what I'd said you must do on H4. So that's it, guys. Here I hope now you can see that what I'm showing you doesn't only work on VIX 75 and Nasdaq, which is what I normally do on this channel. I just applied it on step index and showed you what to expect from it. So when it hits that area of resistance, try and search for trades. Don't just go in blindly. So you must just wait and see how the price is reacting there, because that has got higher chances of being respected. Because we are bearish, we are inside around the monthly area of resistance, and generally this is going to the downside. So all you have to do is make sure that when the price hits that area of resistance, you try and search for trades to go short. But be realistic. As much as we can say we are we are to the downside on monthly, does not mean now you should go and place your take profit at, let me show you, let's go to monthly. It doesn't mean that now if you get a reason to go short here, you must come and put your TP there. You don't trade monthly. Monthly is not your execution time frame. You're trading H4. What about all these resistance areas that you have on your time frame? All these areas of support that are going to try and fight that trade that you're holding, when the price might bounce and stuff like that. What about them? Why are you neglecting them? Because the price can still do this, hit this, and then does this before going all the way down to the downside. We are saying yes, generally it's to the downside, but that's long term. This is also possible, which is why when you're trading these smaller time frames, you need to make sure that when you're setting your take profits, you set it based on the structure on this time frame that you're trading, or the structure on the time frame that is slightly higher than the ones you're trading, which is why I'm saying this being the daily and weekly support is going to be your final TP. That's it. I'm gonna end it like that, and then I hope it made sense. And if you're interested, you'll just hit me up on Telegram, and then we can see if we can't get you into the mentorship group number 2. All right, guys, I'll see you when I have to release 2 videos today because it's a Sunday. I'm giving you the market overview and the forecast as to like what you can expect from your favorite Nasdaq and maybe VIX 75. No, I did VIX 75 yesterday, so I'll do Nasdaq and maybe another different a unique chart, something that we don't do a lot on this time on this channel, but I'll try and add it like I did with the step index. All right, guys, I'll see you then. Sharp, sharp.